Hey there, I'm Kate and this is MonoCat. And today I'm going to talk about how to choose an EUC if you haven't bought one before or need an additional one for other purposes. So, let's get this started. First of all, in this video I won't compare or rank specific EUC models. But what I will do is give you a guideline with questions that in my opinion embody what is important to think about when you choose an EUC. So then you can answer those questions for yourself individually to find the best fit for you. In the beginning, I'm going to talk about what country-specific legislation you have to consider, then the purpose and use case you plan for your EUC, and after that a bit about your physique and some smaller details about EUCs you should consider. As you have seen on my channel before, the rules and reality of riding in different countries can vary a lot. In some countries it is strictly forbidden, in others they are somewhat allowed, and in some cases the police couldn't be bothered. So, as a first step, especially for first-time buyers, it is important to look up the rules and current situation in your own country. Also, getting in touch with a local community is a great idea, since you can ask them to what extent those rules get enforced. So, for example, in Italy any EUC needs to have a stated motor power below 1900 watts, so bigger wheels like the Veteran German and Monster Pro would be considered illegal. However, the reality of actually enforcing the law might be different. The next question you have to ask yourself is, what are you planning to use your EUC for on a daily basis? I will start with the use cases that require the smaller ones in terms of actual size, battery size and speed, and then go gradually up to the bigger ones. If you want to buy a EUC only to use it as a last mile solution, a small one will do the job very well. For example, the M10-3 is very portable and lightweight, but with its recommended maximum load of 60 kilograms, it might not be right for everyone. Also, that it is missing a trolley handle isn't helpful. If you are in a train station, you would have to carry it around for a longer time. So wheels like the V5 or V8F might be a good solution, because of the additional trolley handle. Next up, if your commute is something you could see yourself doing on a bike, in terms of how much time it will take, but you don't want to arrive sweaty at work, a EUC might be a good solution for that, since you still get some exercise. For that, wheels like the Tesla V2, the V10F or King Song 60X are a great choice. For most commutes, they should have enough battery to get you there and back, and they are still small enough to store them in your office or take on public transportation in case of heavy rain, for example. In addition to that, if you want to use your EUC for some social time in form of a group ride, you might need some extra range. It varies for each group ride, but usually the speed is not that high, since that there are people that also want to talk during the ride with each other, and that there are people with different skill levels. But since they tend to last for a couple of hours with multiple stops, you want to make sure you have enough range. So a Nikola, RS19 or MSP are a good size for that. You can also join with a bit smaller EUC, but you might have to charge your wheel in between or take some other form of transportation to and from the group ride. For jumps and off-roading, your wheels should have lots of power and torque, like the MSP HT or RS19 HT. But if you reach that point, you probably already know what you need for your specific use case. Also, no matter how fast you plan to ride, the most important for your EUC is that you will have some headroom. So, for example, if you want to go 20 km an hour, the wheels should be able to go 25 to 30 km an hour before the warning beeps start. I often get the question, which EUC is great for women especially? And to be honest, I don't know. I have seen many women riding on all types of wheels, just like men. That's because no matter if you're a man, a woman, someone in between or none of the above, it mostly comes down to your own specific physique. So first of all, we're going to talk about height. The obvious rule of thumb is the taller the person, the easier it is to handle a big wheel. That's simply because if your knee is hitting against the wheel, it will be more difficult to turn. In Bulgaria, we accidentally damaged the trolley handle of the T3, which made it unable to retract into the wheel. On my ride back, I started to get knee pain from the constant pressure of the trolley handle onto my knee, and it became very difficult to turn with the wheel. And when it comes to weight, it is very similar to height. If you are heavier, it is easier to push a heavy wheel, since you can apply more force onto it. With my 60 kilograms, I am able to ride the Monster Pro, but it's definitely more difficult than riding on the Sherman, just because I can't bring enough leverage on the wheel to control it efficiently. But if you are on the heavier side, it might be difficult to find a small commuter wheel because of their lesser maximum weight. So for heavy riders, especially in hilly areas, it is also important to choose a high torque wheel over high speed, like the RS19 HT or Tesla 3. And next up, you should consider the limits of your physical strength, especially in your arms and legs. Your arms will need to lift or push the wheel around, which you don't need that often, but make sure that you are somewhat able to lift your own wheel in case it breaks down or you need to lift it up some stairs. More important is the strength in your legs. The stronger you are there, the easier it is to push the wheel around, turn and hold it with one foot during standing. Since I have pretty strong legs, it is easy for me to control the Sherman and also a bit the Monster Pro. But I'm rather weak in the arms department, so if Adam is not around, I usually just take the Tesla V2. Suspension wheels are great for off-roading and riding on bumpy roads, or if you just want to have a smoother ride. But on the counter side, this makes the wheel bulkier and heavier, like the V11 or S18. And having suspension makes the wheel a bit pricier than other wheels with a similar range and speed. And in addition to that, it's another part that can break. And with that, we speak about repairing. With the question, how much do you want to repair on the wheel? Well, in an ideal world, nothing. But this is still a very new product, and with all the different components, it's inevitable that something might break. But there are wheels that are more prone to breaking, with having bad waterproofing like the Monster Pro or MSP and RS19, or other known issues like the bearing issues of the V11. Those things don't make a wheel a bad one, especially if you want the power and that type of ride they give you. But you should be aware that some wheels just need some more repairs and extra love. So if you buy any of those wheels, make sure that you either have a EUC service somewhat close to you, or that you don't mind or actually want to work on your EUC. You can also send the wheel back if you bought it from a good retailer and you have warranty to get it fixed, but this will take much longer time. But overall, most repairs are also not that costly as long as it doesn't affect the batteries. If you're not that much into mechanical working or just want to have your mind off those issues, look for wheels that are known for their durability, like the Nikola, Tesla V2, V10F or Kingsong 16X. And besides that, it's good to look for wheels that are not just announced or released, but have already a second, third or even fourth batch in production. I mention trolley handles quite often in my videos, just because I think they're neat. They are especially great for commutes or errands. In my personal opinion, the Kingsong 16S has probably one of the best trolley handles, since it locks in place, is tall and robust. On the other side, Bigode and Godway wheels don't have the best ones, since they break more easily due to their position, the thin aluminium, and the fact that they have no locking mechanism. But if the trolley handle breaks or the EUC doesn't have one to begin with, you're still able to buy an attachable trolley handle from a third party, like EUC Market Alexa. The next point is to choose the seller or retailer wisely, where you can be sure that you have guaranteed warranty and you can look at the reviews and opinions of other people to see how trustworthy they are. Here in Europe, Adam and I always get wheels for testing or even buy our own wheels from my eWheel, since they have a great selection, good communication, are reliable and have good warranty service. Those are some traits you should definitely look for. And thanks to Adam and my own YouTube channel, I was able to get an affiliate code from my eWheel, which gives you guys 5% off if you want to buy anything from them. So if you use the code 5%, you not only get your order a bit cheaper, but also help out my channel directly, which sounds like a win-win for all of us. But there are also other great retailers out there, with eRides in the UK, eWheels in the US, EVs in Canada, Overwheel Italia in Italy, and many more. Let me know in the comments if you have a preferred seller and why. And last but not least, let's talk about ride feeling. I have this as my last point, since it can be difficult to figure out and is very individual for each person. For me, I don't like the MSP that much, but I'm a big fan of the RS19, and I can't really say why. I also prefer the Tesla V2 over the T3, even though it's an older model with less speed and range, just due to its light and nimble ride feeling. For an experienced rider, this might be a bit easier to figure out. You can look out for wheels that you already have and like to see with which other wheels it gets compared in terms of ride feeling. You can also meet up and connect with other riders to try their wheel, but remember to treat their wheels with respect and caution. This can be a bit more difficult for first-time buyers with not so much or no experience at all, since most riders are not keen on letting you try and learn on their wheel. If they let you try and learn, that's great, but what can you do if not? Some retailers with local shops have EUCs to try out and some give even lessons, like ACME Sport in Barcelona or EVs in Vancouver with their free EUC training lessons on Sundays. But if there's nothing to try out in your area, another good option is to buy also a used wheel, preferably with warranty, to try it out if you're still unsure about it. With that being said, after this a bit longer video than normal, I hope you found it entertaining and helpful. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like, and if you feel really fancy, you might subscribe. See you next time!